Now, up next, we have Jindao Tai, a multi-million-dollar trader, just going through the CAD and the news and, what's been going on in FX markets for this week. So over to you now, Jin.
Right, thanks, Scott. But I'm actually having so much fun on the chat. Can I get Kim Hong to start with his analysis on the OPEC first, and then after Kim Hong, I'll jump in with the CAD.
Yes, sorry, I'm so used to Kim Hong doing the trade ideas. Sorry, Kim. Yeah, so Kim Hong is not offering a trade idea, so he's up next, and he's discussing OPEC Plus as well. And I'll catch up with the chat here as well. There's a lot going on, but over to you now, Kim Hong. Sorry,
I got you covered, Scott. I got the sequence covered. No worries.
Actually, I'm having a lot of fun with the chat as well. So can Daniel take over first? Nah, I'm just kidding. Okay, now let's get serious. All right. So on next Monday.
Cryptocurrencies, what's going to happen on cryptocurrencies? Nothing.
No, not crypto. Not crypto from me. You guys will be hearing on crypto from Daniel later on. All right. So OPEC Plus meeting. The OPEC Plus will be meeting, all right, for their monthly discussion, okay, on what will be the production quota for oil, okay, for the month of November, okay. So as of previous month, okay, previous meeting, they actually stick to their plan of increasing oil production, okay, on a monthly basis by 400,000 barrels per day, okay. So if they were to actually go on with the 400,000 barrels per day hike, okay, on a monthly basis, then, by next year, probably like third quarter, okay, of next year, 2022, they will actually be able to sort of like cover back what they have carried out, the cuts that they have carried out since the start of the pandemic, okay? So as of last month, it was 400,000 barrels per day. Now, this month, okay, for the past few days, or I would say, should I say this month, okay, specifically, oil prices have been rising, okay, due to several factors, okay. The first one being growing fuel demand, okay, as we know that, countries starts opening up to, opening up borders to other nations, other countries, allowing traveling to take place, then there's an increase in demand of fuel, right? Second reason, production disruption, okay. So I think it was just early this month or late last month that the Gulf of Mexico, okay, was hit by hurricane again, specifically Hurricane Ida, okay. So that actually led to the production, production stoppage, okay, of oil. So at the moment, that issue is still ongoing, okay. I mean, as in the hurricane is over, all right, but the companies that were actually producing oil are still, not back to full operation yet, okay, as of now. So that's the second reason. Now, for the third reason, I think it was yesterday or the day before, okay, China actually ordered their top energy companies to secure energy supplies at all costs, okay, because at the moment, I think they are actually facing some energy supplies shortage, okay? And, it's October already, right? So it's coming to winter. So they're actually worried that when it comes to winter, when winter arrives, they will have, not enough oil, not enough energy and things like that, right? So, which is why China actually, told the top companies to secure as much supplies as they can get, okay? So, now, if China were to order the top companies to sort of increase the demand of oil, okay, apart from other energies, okay, then that will actually lead to a strengthening in oil prices, right? Because Econs 101, when you have a rise in demand, okay, and supply remains the same, okay, that will actually push prices up, okay. So these are the three reasons that oil prices have been rising for the past 1 month, okay, for the month of September, okay. So actually oil prices have been quite volatile for the past 2 or 3 days, all right. Let me show you my chart. So I'm going to be showing you guys the WTI. I don't have the Brent crude price with me, okay. So as you can see, over here, this is a daily time frame chart, all right? For the past few days, you see like, long upper shadow, long lower shadows, And I think it was back in when this is 28 was like 2 or 3 days ago. Okay. Price actually for WTI, okay, price actually hit the 76 level, trying to break above but couldn't break above and things like that, right? Why is that the case? One of the reason is that there has been news. Okay, as we know, OPEC Plus has always been very tight-lipped, okay, when it comes to all this oil production quota and things like that. So they were only when they announced it during their meeting, their official meeting, then can we confirm, that they are going to increase or cut production, all right? But there's always like rumors going around, or should I say like insiders news and things like that, all right? So there have been sources saying that the OPEC Plus is actually considering a boost in production, okay, beyond its current 400,000 barrels per day plan, okay, for the moment, all right? So there's been one source, I read one source that says that, they may actually hike production for the month of November by 800,000, okay, doubling what they have for October, okay, and then increase by 0, okay, for the month of December. So that's one of the sources. And then many other sources saying that they may hike, but they did not provide any figures, okay, as to, or maybe any projection or speculations as to how much more the OPEC Plus is going to be boosting production, okay? So all in all, as of now, it's very confusing, all right, because different analysts have different views, different insiders, provide different information, okay, insights into what's going on in the OPEC Plus, what's going to happen in the OPEC Plus meeting, all right? So what I'm trying to point out here is that we know that oil prices have a direct correlation to the Canadian dollar, right? So because of this, if you guys are trading Canadian dollar for now and for the next one trading day, okay, Monday, all right, anytime before the OPEC Plus meeting, just be careful, right? Because you never know what the energy ministers of Saudi Arabia or the chief of OPEC Plus, may be coming out and say and things like that, right? As of now, what we know for sure is that OPEC Plus is actually receiving a lot of pressure from especially the US, okay, when it comes to oil prices, okay, because the United States have been highlighting over the past couple of months that a rise in oil prices will have an impact on the economy, okay, because if you were to make prices too high, say for example, there are speculations that oil prices may hit $90, WTI, okay, may hit $80 per barrel, $90 per barrel, and things like that, or even $100 per barrel, okay. So if prices were to rise, were to spike to a high level like 80, 90, $100 per barrel, then it makes a lot of things less affordable, okay, petrol, oil and things like that, so which is why the US, they are actually trying to, talk to the OPEC Plus on this whole issue, okay, on, could you guys just increase your production quota, okay, because when the OPEC Plus increases production quota, okay, meaning to increase the supply, then with the ongoing demand, prices may fall, okay? So especially right now, okay, there's been speculations that there's been forecast that demand has been rising, demand for oil has been rising, okay, with the opening up of economy. So if you guys are actually trading Canadian dollar, okay, be it the major pairs or with other minor crosses, okay, just be careful, all right, because there may be volatility from now until the time when the OPEC Plus announces their decision, okay, for the upcoming quota, right? So with that, I will cover again probably on Tuesday. Yeah. So there's no timing being given for when will the OPEC Plus meeting be taking place. But based on previous months, previous years, okay, my experience is that they usually, meetings will be held usually in the evening, GMT plus 8. Okay, that's probably like some maybe 9 p.m. or 8, from 7 to 10 p.m. GMT plus 8. All right. So you guys just do some conversion on the time zone and see, that period of time will usually be the time that, the OPEC Plus will be carrying out the meeting. And you will be seeing headlines, breaking news coming out from Bloomberg, from, news providers and things like that. All right. So if you guys are trading dollar CAD, especially just be careful. All right. With that, I'll hand it back to Scott.
Hey, Kim Hong, before I get into Scott. So what, in the quickest summary, what do you think is going to happen to dollar CAD?
So you don't have to do the analysis, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'll share the screen. I'll share the screen here. Dollar CAD on H4 time frame. I've got my resistance at 1.2747. I've got support at 1.2613. What do you think is going to happen to dollar CAD?
In the short run, I feel that dollar CAD is going to rise. Okay,
and in the short run, based on your analysis of the short run, how is that the next couple of days? We are heading towards the weekend. You've got the news coming up. What would you do?
For today and for Monday, half of Monday, okay, because we won't be hearing from, we won't be hearing. There's no NFP tonight, okay, today, and there's also no release of the Canadian employment figures, okay, although this is the first Friday of the month, okay. So with that, it's not going to be that volatile, okay, as compared to Fridays with NFP data releases or the Canadian jobs report. So which is why I feel that, as of now, it's likely going to be the case that dollar CAD will rise, probably to your resistance level before making some reaction.
Like that?
Yep.
And then what do you think is going to happen?
And then it all depends on what the OPEC Plus will be saying on Monday.
Hey, but I mean, I'm highlighting stuff. I'm trying to do a different format here. What do you think is going to happen? Forex Trading Asia economic calendar, today being Friday, we do have the GDP numbers month on month to be released.
Okay, the
would
GDP
this be something
release,
you ignore, or would this be something that you take on with a pinch of salt?
I will take it with a pinch of salt because, okay, if I'm not wrong, the month-on-month Canadian GDP data release is actually for right now it's October, so it's actually a release for for August. So if I'm not wrong, they actually release it 50 days after the 40 or 50 days after the month ends or something like that, right? So if it's if it's for August, then I wouldn't say that it will have as much of an impact as the data being released for September, which we will only be hearing from in November. So what's the forecast again? Negative 0.2. Okay.
0.2, yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's probably because of the recently imposed lockdown on Canada, which is why in August, back in August, which is why there's a negative forecast on GDP. Now, if the data actually turns out to be as expected or worse than expected, yes, there may be a weakening in the Canadian dollar, but my main focus will still not be on Canadian dollar, but on US dollar, all right? Because we have been seeing a strengthening in the US dollar for the past, for this week, basically, okay? Because bond yields are rising, and that has a direct correlation to the strengthening of the US dollar, okay? So my focus will still be on US dollar rather than on the Canadian dollar, right?
So I think, just having that discussion, if we're expecting that stronger US dollar, and also given that we're seeing some US news, but nothing too big, nothing that's going to move prices ridiculously, especially with the given expectations of PMI being quite similar to the previous. I probably do think that we're going to see a bit of a weaker GDP number, so probably not even a minus 0.2. We might even see a minus 0.3 to a minus 0.5 because of the recent lockdowns, because the Canadian economy had been a bit of a cool off recently as well. So if we do pair the stronger US dollar together with the weaker Canadian over the next couple of days into early next week, back to the charts here, I think that this is definitely this is quite likely to happen, to move up towards a 127.47 level, but not very tradable. There's only a good 50 pips towards the upside. What I would best suggest at this point will be to look for that buying opportunity above this week's high at 127.70. So above 127.70, you could have a 30-40 pip stop loss to about 150 pip take profit level. You're looking at a very, very good risk reward ratio towards the upside. with multiple decision points, first at about 80 pips or 1:2 risk reward ratio, and then again at 120 pips, which is about a 1:3 or 1:4 risk reward ratio. So I think given the expectation for a stronger US dollar, a slightly weaker Canadian to be applied because of the news from today, and not a lot of other news for next week apart from OPEC early in the week and the non-farm payrolls and the employment data on Friday next week, we could actually be looking at that move with several decision points towards the upside for this USCAD. What do you think, Kim Hong? You like my analysis?
Yep. Personally, I still would prefer to wait for a break. If you guys, dying to trade Canadian dollar, okay, then maybe you can look at the CAD yen instead. Because yeah, like what Jin has mentioned, dollar CAD, we have a resistance, and it's soon to be approaching the resistance. So you don't want to be caught in the resistance, hovering, waiting for the OPEC news. And of course, today is Friday, right? So we are coming to an end of the week. So prices may actually stall or hover around the resistance zone. So you may be stuck in the trade.
So just sharing the CAD yen chart here at this point, you can see that I haven't done any analysis on this chart because I don't trade CAD yen, but it is a pair that we can provide some opinions and options on. For Traders Club members, I will be posting up my view on this into the platform today. So watch out for that. With that said, a different way to run the analysis. I'll pass it back to you, Scott.